What happened in the Murrieta Temecula real estate market in March? Is it still a crazy town out there? That's what we're talking about today. Hi, Jessica Genung here with the Genung team and Active Realty. This video is going to be a market report, what happened over the past month. We're going to go over a couple of interesting real estate related articles at first, and then stick around to the end. We're going to run the numbers for what happened in Murrieta, Temecula, and Menifee in the real estate market. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to talk about Olivia Rodrigo and briefly about the Grammys. She's a Murrieta native, and we're going to talk about Tour de Murrieta. That is a bike race. As you probably know, the Fed is trying to cool the markets and tame inflation by raising the federal funds rate for the first time since 2018. Inflation has been surging, with the last numbers coming in at almost 8%, which is a 40-year high. Bond yields, they are surging as well. What's going on with interest rates to buy a home? The 30-year fixed mortgage rate reached a 3-year high of 4.67% in the week ending March 31st. That's up from 3.18% a year ago, and that is up about 1.5%, rough math, but basically rates, they're rising at a historic pace. According to the National Association of Realtors, of which I am a member, pending home sales, they fell 4.1% in February from January, which is the fourth straight decline. Also, pending transactions dropped 5.4%. Now, you might think that would mean that we are at the beginning of a housing shift, but consider this before you come to that conclusion. NAR's chief economist Lawrence Yun put it perfectly. He says pending transactions diminished in February mainly due to the low number of homes for sale. Buyer demand is still intense, but it is as simple as one cannot buy what is not for sale. Real quick, if you are finding this information helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. That really helps us with YouTube, and we always appreciate your comments down below as well. Redfin had a great article that just came out where they discuss why they think that growth is going to slow. The headline of the article is Housing Market Update: Surging Mortgage Rates and Home Prices Sideline More Buyers. Here are the main takeaways. The market still feels hot, but a slowdown in online searches, home tours, and mortgage applications suggest more buyers are getting priced out. Also, Redfin economists predict home price growth will start to slow in the coming months. This is what I'm seeing in our business as well. It does seem that listings aren't getting as many tours as before and not as many offers, but it is still quite steady. My listings are still receiving multiple offers over list price, and my buyers are typically still needing to pay over asking price to win properties. And the hot neighborhoods and the really charming and upgraded homes in average neighborhoods, my buyers are still needing to go pretty far up and over asking price to win these. The Redfin article goes on to say mortgage rates are shooting up at the fastest pace in history, sending the typical monthly mortgage payment for a home buyer up more than $500 since the beginning of this year. As rates quickly approach 5%, we expect their impact on home buyer demand to change from a motivator, driving a sense of urgency to buy before rates rise further, to a deterrent, causing buyers to step back as the cost of home buying exceeds their budgets. There are a number of early signs that this shift is beginning to take place. So what are these early signs that a shift is taking place? According to Redfin, fewer people are starting online home searches and applying for mortgages than this time last year, and year-to-date growth in home tours remains far below 2021 levels. An increasing share of sellers are also reducing their prices after putting their homes on the market. The share of homes that sell quickly within 14 days continues to grow, but at a slower pace than earlier this year. This is exactly what I'm seeing in my business as well. The rise in interest rates is not having a deterring effect yet, but instead it's providing extra motivation for those who are trying to buy and get in before the rates go even higher. As we know, they are expected to go higher, but it will have a cooling effect in upcoming months, in my opinion. Real quick, one more time, in the description down below, we have a link to our relocation guide that has more information about moving to the Murrieta Temecula area. It is available for immediate download. Redfin chief economist Daryl Fairweather put things into perspective for those who are waiting for a housing crash. He says, but there are early indicators that the market is turning, and we expect the softening to become more apparent in the coming weeks, eventually causing home price growth to slow. We'll be watching closely to see whether the market slows from 100 miles per hour to 90 or 100 miles per hour to 75. My take on that quote is that we're still going to be speeding, whether we're going 90 or whether we're going 75, that is still humming right along. I'm going to link the full article down below if you want to dive in more. It goes on to talk about specific cities throughout the US that are experiencing year-over-year declines in pending sales, and says declines in searches, touring, and mortgage applications are larger in California than anywhere else, interestingly enough. One last interesting bit of info I pulled from this article is the monthly mortgage payment on the median asking price rose to a record high of $2,234 at the current 4.6% mortgage rate. This was up 31% from a year earlier when mortgage rates were 3.18%. The typical monthly mortgage payment is up $537 since the start of the year. Considering this pace, I do think the Fed raising the interest rates will have a cooling effect on the housing market, which is their intention. My hope is that they do not put us into a recession, because the Treasury bond yield curve has already inverted more than once, I believe. Every recession has followed an inversion since 1955, but that is going to be a topic for another day. On a lighter note, after speculating about a recession, I'm happy to report that Murrieta native pop singer Olivia Rodrigo won 3 Grammys on Sunday night, including Best Artist. So I'm excited about that. Check out our video East versus West Murrieta, where we talk about her a little bit. We think that she's from East Murrieta, but actually maybe some of you viewers could kind of settle that for me, because I've heard she's from Murrieta. She was born at Rancho Springs Medical Center, which is Murrieta, and she went to 2 schools that are in East Murrieta, although Wikipedia says that she grew up in neighboring Temecula. But the 2 schools that they say that she went to, which is Lisa Males and Dorothy McKinley, the middle school, is solidly Murrieta, North Murrieta actually. So is she from Temecula or Murrieta? Maybe you could let me know. Okay, we are going to start with the stats in Murrieta. Median sales price. So median sales price was up $120,000 year over year, from $555,000 in March of 2021 to $675,000 is the current median sales price here in Murrieta. Month over month, we're up $7,000. So that's how much we're increasing per month in Murrieta. Similar situation in Menifee, year over year is also up $120,000. Month over month though is up much more at $21,990 month over month in Menifee. As always, our stats are single family homes, so we're not looking at condos and townhomes or land. These are single family homes only to keep it simple, and we're doing the median sales price, whereas we used to do the average, but we feel like median is going to give us a better predictor. So 50% of sales are higher, 50% of sales are lower. Median sales price in Temecula, these are interesting numbers. So it went up year over year, $86,500. So compared to Murrieta and Menifee's going up $120,000, our only explanation for this is that Temecula is the most expensive city of the 3, so it had less room to go up as the lesser expensive Menifee and Murrieta. We had a little bit of a wonky number in our last market report that we said we would double check. The median sales price in Temecula was $700,000. We were kind of thinking it would be higher than that. We double checked that number and it still is showing at $700,000. So our current median sales price of $732,000 is a $32,000 increase month over month. So huge month over month increase in Temecula. Moving on to closed sales in Murrieta, closed sales are just a little bit down from March of last year. Basically 3 houses, so it's basically flat. Same story in Menifee. It's up by 1 house year over year, March of 2021 versus March of this year. So basically flat as well. Temecula has a little bit more of a shift where the closed sales are down from 195 to 182. So that's a 6.7% decrease in the number of closed sales. So, but still pretty flat overall. Median days on market, there's pretty much no story here. In Murrieta, it's up by 2 days, from 5 days to 7 days. These are crazy, crazy low median days on market historically in real estate. So up by 2 days. Menifee is up by 1 day, from 5 days on the market to 6 days. That still homes are flying off the shelf. And Temecula is also up by 1 day. So pretty similar to last year, give or take a day. Number of listings is a little bit more of an interesting story year over year. So we definitely have less listings starting in Murrieta. We're down 33% on listings from 223 to 149. So we thought our inventory was low last year. Our listing inventory is even lower this year. So Menifee is swinging the opposite direction, which is also very interesting, where the number of listings in Menifee is up 9.9% from 192 March of last year to 211 this year. And this kind of makes sense. It's easier to get your offers accepted in Menifee because there feels like there's more inventory. It's easier to get offers accepted out in Winchester, in my experience, than it is in Murrieta and Temecula. Moving on to Temecula number of listings, it's the same story as Murrieta. So they are down 29.3%. So 188 March of last year to only 133 of March of this year. So number of listings have really plummeted from last year, which was already a very low amount of listings. We like to show you a little bit of community events when we can, and Chris wants to show you the Tour de Murrieta bike race footage that he took. That's it for today, though. We'll see you next week. Bye.